Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Tuesday Leadership Tip. This week, I want to talk about something that happens more often than we realize in our workplaces, especially in high pressure environments like automotive retail, service departments, sales floors. It's workplace bullying and how our willingness as managers to listen, what researchers call employee voice, can be one of the strongest shields we have against employee burnout. A 2024 study published in the International Journal of Manpower looked at more than 300 employees in the automotive sector. And this is, a rarity that we have studies like this in automotive retail. And what they found was something powerful. What they found is when workplace bullying goes unchecked, burnout rises sharply. And when they're encouraged to speak up and talk about their concerns seriously, what they found is burnout drops dramatically. The difference, it wasn't pay or perks or shorter hours. It was whether people felt their voice mattered. Now, bullying in the workplace doesn't always look like shouting or name calling. It's often subtle things like somebody constantly criticizing a coworker or withholding misinformation, or leaving somebody out, making him feel left out. This could be from a manager or from fellow employees. These things, well, they drain energy over time. And that's what burnout really is. It's emotional exhaustion from constantly protecting yourself at work. When people start to shut down, stop caring, or just going through the motions, it's often not because they're lazy. It's because they're tired of not being heard or respected. The research in this study used something called conservation of resources theory. And this theory basically says that we all have limited emotional and mental resources, like time, energy, confidence, and patience. And bullying or negativity, it drains those resources that we naturally try and protect what's left by disengaging. So this is the key. When people are encouraged to speak up, to use their voice, it helps them reclaim some of those resources. In other words, listening builds resilience. So, what can we take from this as leaders? Well, it starts with how we behave. Make it crystal clear that disrespect and ostracizing are not part of your culture. Even one tolerated eye roll can send a message that silence is safer than honesty. Also, invite real feedback. Don't just say, my door's always open. Actually ask questions like, what is one thing we could be doing better? Or what is getting in your way right now? Protect that psychological safety. When somebody speaks up, don't punish them for it. Thank them. People remember how you reacted the first time they took that risk of opening up. And finally, close the loop. If someone shares a concern, follow up with them. Even if you can't fix it, just explain why. Silence makes people think their words don't matter. So the study showed that when employees' voices were ignored, bullying led directly to burnout. But when their voices were heard, that burnout, the effect almost entirely disappeared. And because of that, we know we can't always stop all stress and conflict, but we can make people feel less powerless. If they believe their input is valued, they bounce back faster, they stay engaged longer, and they perform better. So, here's your challenge for this week. In your next meeting or one-on-one, ask a question that will invite genuine input, and then just listen. Don't defend, don't fix, don't rush to respond. Simply thank the person for being honest. That single act of listening without judgment might be the thing that keeps someone on your team from burning out. Remember this, people don't burn out because they're weak. They burn out because they're exhausted from not being heard. Leadership, it isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating that safe space where every voice has value. So, have a great week and give this week's tip some thought. Thank you.